Losing a child is one of the most painful and unimaginable experiences any parent could face. If you've lost a child or are facing the prospect of outliving your children, it can feel like an emotional weight that's hard to carry. There's a sense of grief, but also a deep uncertainty about what comes next. As we age, we often think about the natural order of life and death, but no one is ever fully prepared for this kind of loss. And yet, it's important to acknowledge that, sadly, the statistics are there. Many parents will outlive their children, especially as we age. But today, I want to talk about something that might bring a small measure of comfort to those facing this unimaginable grief. There are steps you can take to ensure your emotional, physical, and practical well-being after such a loss. While the pain is real, these steps can help you regain a sense of control and, in time, find peace. In this video, I'm going to share 7 essential things that seniors need to do to survive after the loss of a child. These are practical steps, things you can do to take care of yourself in the face of profound loss. They won't take away the grief, but they can help you move through this difficult time with more resilience and strength. First, let's start with something that's easy to overlook during a time of sorrow, but it's perhaps one of the most important things you can do. Take care of your health. When grief sets in, it's easy to let everything slip, including your physical health. Maybe you don't feel like eating or you're too exhausted to get out of bed some days. But your body still needs care, and your emotional healing depends on it. Eating healthy meals, getting enough sleep, and staying active. These are foundational pieces that will keep you grounded, even when everything feels chaotic. If you find yourself losing your appetite, try to focus on small meals throughout the day, even if they're simple. Maybe it's a banana or some toast in the morning, or a bit of soup in the evening. Just make sure your body is getting the nutrients it needs. Exercise is another powerful tool in your emotional healing. I know that might seem daunting, especially if you're in the early stages of grief. But even a simple walk around your neighborhood can make a world of difference. The fresh air, the movement, the chance to get your heart rate up, it's all part of taking care of yourself. Exercise is known to release endorphins, which can lift your mood and help you cope with sadness, even if just a little bit. Another important thing to consider, especially as we age, is keeping up with medical appointments. You might feel like you don't want to do anything or that your health doesn't matter right now, but it does. Your primary care physician can help you manage any existing conditions, and they can also offer resources or support groups to help you navigate your grief. If you're on medications, make sure you're staying on top of them. Neglecting your health only makes the grieving process harder. Now that we've covered physical health, let's talk about something that can sometimes be even more challenging: emotional support. When you lose a child, the grief can be isolating. You may feel like no one truly understands the depth of your pain, but it's essential to remember that support is out there. Start by reaching out to friends and family members who can provide emotional comfort. Don't be afraid to lean on them, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Sometimes, just having someone sit with you in silence can offer more healing than words ever could. If you feel like you don't have anyone in your immediate circle who can relate, consider looking for a grief support group. There are many groups specifically for parents who have lost children, and while no two people's grief is the same, there is comfort in knowing you are not alone in your experience. Therapists can also be a huge help. A grief counselor or therapist who specializes in loss can help you process your emotions in a healthy way. They can help you work through your grief, offer coping strategies, and provide a safe space where you can express the raw feelings that you might not feel comfortable sharing with others. It's okay to ask for help. Sometimes, people think they need to be strong for others, but reaching out for emotional support is a form of strength in itself. As we move through these first 2 steps, taking care of your health and seeking emotional support, there's something else that can help you regain a sense of balance: honoring your child's memory. In the early days, it's easy to feel lost or like your identity has been stripped away, especially if you were very close to your child. Finding ways to honor their memory can help you hold on to the love you shared and create a space where their spirit can still be part of your life. Maybe you create a memory book, or perhaps you plant a tree in their honor. It might be as simple as lighting a candle on their birthday or keeping a favorite picture in a special place. These small acts of remembrance can bring comfort, and they can provide a sense of continuity during such an uncertain time. You don't have to rush into any of this. Take your time and figure out what feels right for you. Now that we've touched on taking care of your health, reaching out for support, and honoring your child's memory, let's move on to something equally important. You've heard the saying, life goes on. And while that may not feel true right now, there are practical steps you can take to ensure that your life continues in a way that brings meaning, even through your grief. Next, we'll talk about creating a practical plan for the future and ensuring that you're prepared for what's next. As you begin to navigate life after such a loss, one of the most important things you can do is create a practical plan for the future. This step is often overlooked, but it's one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself during a time when you might feel like everything is out of your control. When you lose a child, it's easy to get caught up in the emotional weight of it all. But taking some time to think about your future, your living situation, and your finances can bring a sense of security, even in the most uncertain of times. Start by reviewing your finances. Take a look at your budget, your savings, and any pensions or Social Security you may be receiving. Are there any changes that need to be made? If your child was helping with some financial matters, it's important to address that now. Seek out a financial advisor if you need assistance. A professional can help you adjust to the changes that come with this loss and ensure that you're managing your resources in a way that's sustainable. Alongside your finances, it's also a good idea to review your living situation. Is your home still the right place for you? In some cases, you may find that the house you've lived in for years now feels too large or too lonely. If this is the case, you might want to start exploring smaller homes or even independent living communities. It's not about rushing into any decisions, but rather about making sure you have options available. If the idea of moving feels overwhelming right now, don't worry. You don't need to make any decisions immediately. The important thing is to start thinking about your future and what will bring you peace of mind. And speaking of future planning, there's also updating your legal documents. It's never easy to think about these things, but if your child was your primary point of contact for medical or financial decisions, now is the time to choose someone else to fill that role. You'll need to review and possibly update your will, power of attorney, and any healthcare directives you may have. These documents ensure that your wishes are respected, even when you're not able to advocate for yourself. Having these things in place can give you the peace of mind that your future is secure, no matter what comes. Now that we've covered practical steps like planning for the future and updating legal documents, let's talk about something that might feel more difficult at first: finding new sources of purpose and meaning. Grief can make everything feel empty, and after the loss of a child, you may feel like you're just going through the motions of life without any clear direction. But as time goes on, it's important to find new ways to bring meaning to your days, even in the midst of your sorrow. This doesn't mean you need to jump into something new right away or force yourself to feel joy. But it does mean finding small things that can help you feel connected to the world around you. Maybe it's volunteering at a local shelter, helping with a community garden, or simply starting a new hobby that brings you comfort. The goal here is to create a new routine that brings you a sense of fulfillment and connection. This can help fill the void that grief often leaves, and it will give you something to look forward to each day. You may also find that pursuing something creative helps you process your emotions in a healthy way. Writing, painting, crafting, these outlets allow you to express the feelings that words alone may not be able to capture. If you've never been someone who considers themselves artistic, that's perfectly okay. The beauty of creativity is that it's about expressing yourself, not about being good at it. Now, as we continue down this path of rebuilding and finding new meaning, let's talk about maintaining connections with others. Losing a child can leave you feeling isolated, but it's vital to stay connected with friends, family, or support groups. Social isolation can deepen your grief and make you feel even more alone. While it may be tempting to withdraw from others, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed or if you don't know what to say, it's important to allow people to be there for you. Start with the people who are closest to you, siblings, cousins, old friends, and let them know you're still here and that you'd appreciate their support. You don't need to talk about your grief all the time if you don't want to. Simply spending time together can help you feel less isolated. And if you feel like you're ready, consider joining a support group where you can meet others who understand what you're going through. Talking to people who have shared your experience can be an incredibly healing way to cope with your loss. Another way to stay connected with others is through digital communication. Many seniors feel disconnected from the world of social media, but it can be an excellent way to stay in touch with loved ones, especially if they're far away. If you're not familiar with social media platforms like Facebook or Instagram, there are many online tutorials and classes available to help you get started. A simple text message or video call can help bridge the gap and remind you that you're still part of a bigger community. By now, we've covered some important steps: taking care of your health, planning for the future, finding new sources of purpose, and maintaining connections. All of these are essential, but there's one more crucial step that I want to touch on in the next part of this video. It's about learning to embrace your grief and give yourself permission to heal. Grief isn't something that goes away after a certain amount of time. It's something that you learn to live with, and everyone's journey is different. Some days will be harder than others, and that's okay. It's all part of the process. In the next part, I'll talk about how to move through your grief, accept your feelings, and find a path forward. But for now, just remember that you are not alone, and with time, you can find ways to heal and live with this loss. Grief isn't a wound that heals in a straight line. It's more like a tide. It rolls in, it rolls out. Some days feel manageable. Others hit you out of nowhere. And after losing a child, that tide can feel like a tsunami. But here's something I want you to hear and hold on to. Your pain is not a weakness. It's a sign of the love you carry. And that love, that deep lifelong connection, it never disappears. It just changes form. One of the most life-saving things you can do after such a loss is to give yourself permission to grieve fully, without shame or a timeline. There's no right way to feel. Some days you might cry at the sound of their favorite song. Other days you might smile at a memory that unexpectedly pops up. And both are okay. Feel it all. Don't rush it. Let the grief come as it needs to, because trying to silence it or avoid it only makes it heavier in the long run. Sometimes we think we have to be strong for everyone else, for our spouse, our grandchildren, our friends. But being strong doesn't mean never falling apart. True strength is allowing yourself to break, to mourn, and still show up the next day with a heart that's trying its best to keep going. And please, don't be afraid to talk about your child. Say their name. Tell their stories. Keep their memory alive in the little ways that matter most to you. Whether it's lighting a candle on their birthday, sharing a photo on the mantle, or simply saying out loud, "I miss you today." These small acts can be incredibly healing. They're reminders that while your child may no longer be physically here, their spirit lives on in you, in the lessons they taught you, in the joy they brought to your life. You might also find comfort in helping others, or supporting a cause that was close to your child's heart. Maybe they loved animals or had a passion for teaching, or struggled with an illness that you now want to bring awareness to. Carrying on their legacy can become a powerful way to channel your grief into something that brings light to others. It doesn't have to be big or public. Sometimes the most meaningful gestures are the quietest ones. And if you ever find yourself feeling stuck in your grief, or if the pain becomes too heavy to carry alone, reach out for help. There's absolutely no shame in talking to a grief counselor or therapist. In fact, it can be one of the bravest things you do. You don't have to navigate this loss by yourself. Support is out there, whether through a local grief group, a mental health professional, or even someone in your own circle who has walked a similar path. As time passes, you may begin to feel moments of peace, of joy, even laughter. At first, these moments can feel strange, like you're betraying your grief or forgetting your child. But you're not. You're learning to carry your sorrow alongside your joy. It's not about moving on. It's about moving forward, with their memories stitched into the fabric of your life. You are allowed to smile again. You're allowed to feel happiness. You're allowed to live a full life, even while holding this heartbreak, because your life still matters. Your presence still makes a difference. And your ability to survive this loss, however messy or imperfect, can be a quiet source of strength to others who may one day walk the same path. Let me say that again, just in case no one else has told you lately. You still matter. Your life is still filled with value, with potential, and with purpose. The pain you feel is real, and so is your capacity to grow through it. So, if you've lost a child and you're waking up each day wondering how to keep going, know this: you already are. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a victory. Every tear you cry, every memory you hold close, is a testament to a love that never fades. You are not alone, and there is still beauty to be found in the days ahead. I want to thank you for spending this time with me, and for trusting me to speak to your heart. If any part of this video resonated with you, please take a moment to share your thoughts or your story in the comments. You never know who you might be helping by simply opening up. This community is full of kind, resilient, and compassionate people, just like you. If you found this helpful, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. We're building a space here where older adults can feel seen, supported, and empowered to live well, no matter what life throws their way. And remember, healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means learning how to carry your love forward in a new way. Your heart is strong enough to hold the pain and the joy. You are strong enough to survive this and still live a life that feels meaningful, connected, and even hopeful. Here's to honoring your child, to healing at your own pace, and to living the rest of your life with courage and compassion. You are not alone, and you never have to be. Here's to living your best life, even after the unthinkable. You deserve it.